Welcome back to another video, guys, where today you join me in my humble garage with my 2017 Audi RS3. Now today is going to be a bit of a DIY video. We're going to be dressing up the engine bay of the Audi RS3. So on the table behind me here we have a few boxes that we need to unpack. We have an integrated engineering cold air intake made of carbon fiber. We have an 034 Motorsport Fuse box cover, also made of carbon fiber. And very excitingly, we have the OEM Carbon Fiber engine cover kit. If you're new to the channel, my name's Alex, and if you enjoy seeing this kind of stuff, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and hit the like button if you enjoy what you see as well. So let's start with a bit of an unboxing of the bits that we have, and then we'll get to installing and carbonerizing the RS3 engine bay. Let's start unboxing. We'll start with this one here. This is the 034 Fuse box cover, and it is a very nice carbon fiber piece, which you can see right there. So this one basically just attaches with 3M tape on the existing one, which you can see there, and the finish on this is really nice. Nice weave throughout it, very thin, and that's just going to sit over the top and dress up the engine bay. Okay, moving on. This here is the carbon fiber OEM engine cover. So this is an exact copy of the one that's on there, and it's got some carbon fiber bits in it, so it looks a bit nicer than the plastic one that's on there. So this was an option when you bought this car new. I think it was part of a carbon package or something like that. It was probably pretty expensive as an option, and to be fair, it was expensive to buy it aftermarket as well. So this one here sits on the, I think you call it the intake plenum, and a beautiful carbon fiber piece with the Audi rings in that nice brushed silver and the TFSI logo there. And then Big Daddy, we can get this out. Again, this is OEM finish. Wow, look at that. That is just stunning. I'll turn that around for you guys. Beautiful carbon fiber inlay in the center here. We have the red cover, same as the factory one, and then of course the plastic around the edges here. Again, a stunning finish, and matched perfectly to that fuse box cover, and of course the little intake plenum piece that we had before. On the back you'll be able to see that it's got the factory mounts, which go into the little rubber grommets that are already existing, and you've got that beautiful padding as well, you know, to keep the heat away from the cover itself. Okay, moving on to the Big Daddy. Now I had to change camera angles because this one's so massive. And full disclosure, I have unwrapped this before, but for the sake of YouTube, I thought we would do it again. Okay, these are the few silicone joiners that we're going to need as part of the kit. And wow, I mean, this thing is absolutely massive. So let me tell you, this integrated engineering intake is actually their 4-inch intake. Have a look at that pipe. That is absolutely huge, and the finish on that is stunning. Wow, this thing is absolutely huge. Let's see if we can unwrap this. Check this out. Oh my god, what an absolute monster. Again, a beautiful finish. We've got the integrated plaque at the top here, integrated engineering. A massive intake. I'll actually get that out a bit later so I can show you guys, but that is going to look absolutely stunning in the engine bay. What else have we got? Okay, and to finish off, we have all the required hardware. So we have a bunch of stickers, which is always good. There's a small factory clamp there, which I know we're going to need. A small screw, I'm not sure what we need that for. All the clamps, and then lastly a bit of a heat shield, and I think that actually goes on the back of one of these ends here to help protect the carbon fiber from the heat of the turbo, which is actually sitting sort of underneath it. So a really, really beautiful kit. Let me show you the engine bay and show you where these parts are all going to fit. Alright, let's take a look at where all these parts are going to go in the engine bay. So over here on the right hand side we have the fuse box cover. That's going to receive that 034 Motorsport carbon fiber cover just placed on top of that to dress it up. In the center here we've got the OEM engine cover and this little plastic piece here on the intake plenum. And then we have, of course, the factory intake, which we're going to replace with that integrated engineering carbon fiber piece. I've got one clamp at the back here, which actually requires a, what do they call it, a hose clamp or a water pipe clamp or something like that, the big extendable pliers. So my mate Brian is actually going to be coming around to help out with that job. So whilst we wait for Brian to get here with that tool that I need to do the actual intake, I thought I'd do the simple things first. So we're going to switch to the trusty chest cam. Alright, switching to the trusty chest cam. So I think we're going to do this guy first. So there's two clips, one front, one back, and that just simply removes. You can see all your fuses in there. And so we're just going to give this a bit of a clean with some alcohol so that the 3M tape can stick to it nice and goodly. That's not even a word. So I've got myself an alcohol wipe here. And this just gets rid of any residue or oils that would stop the 3M tape from sticking to it. Alright, so that's done. We've got our cover here, and that's just going to sit straight over the top like that. So let's get these 3M stickers backings removed, which is always such a pain. So we can get our cover, make sure that's lined up perfectly. So we get that like that, push it down nice and firm. So let's get this fitted back onto the car. Okay, so same way it came off. Pop that back on, and there we go. 034 carbon fiber fuse box cover done. Very, very simple job, very easy to do, and I don't think that's going to go anywhere. All right, now then, let's move on to this guy here, which, now the engine's a little bit warm already, so I'm hoping that's kind of loosened up the adhesive on the back of this, but I'm going to get a pry tool and see if I can slowly work my way around and actually pull that off. Alright, so after a bit of finagling, I'm nearly there. The last little bit. Trying to be as careful as we can. Here it goes. Okay, there we go. So we managed to get it off in one piece, which is a win. And you can see the residue, which we'll have to scrape off and clean up so that we can stick the new one on. Alright, that's all nice and dry and clean now, so we can go ahead and take the backing off this one and stick it in place. But can we just take a moment to appreciate these little tabs here? How good is that? Don't have to worry about picking that red stuff off the back. Good job, Audi, good job. We get one shot at this, so we want to make sure that the edges are the same all the way around, the gap around the edges, otherwise my OCD is going to freak out. So I'm going to drop this side in first, lift that up a little bit, there we go, push it down, and we'll get this side in like that, and that is it. Ta-da! That looks awesome. Whilst Brian's just arriving, I thought I'd actually open up the intake and show you the filter that's inside. Alright, I've just flipped the intake on its head, and you can see here we've got 4 Allen bolts which fix the base to it. So the base is obviously aluminium. Ooh, they're pretty tight. We'll just loosen these guys off. Alright, so with those 4 bolts removed, we can take this bottom base cover off. God, look at the size of that thing. Oh my God, that is massive. I don't even know how you get that out. So you can see around the back here, it's kind of, the carbon fiber is molded. There's a name that they give it, I can't remember what it is though. And inside that, it's really, really smooth, and it kind of comes out and around, and then that is what the actual air filter clamps onto. But my goodness, that is so huge. All right, well, the other reason to take that cover off was to make sure that that clamp is actually done up nice and tight, which it definitely is. So that's all good. We can put the cover back on. Brian will be here shortly, and we can get this sucker installed. That sounds like the familiar sound of an RS3, so Brian must be here. He was actually featured in a previous video where we picked up his RS3 when he first bought it. So if you're interested, go back and check that out. We also tested launch control on my car in that video, which was a lot of fun. So let's go let him in and get this intake installed. Alright, we're just going to get Brian's reaction to the size of the filter, because I think it's huge, but actually his is massive anyway, so you probably won't be that impressed. Alright, hold on to that.
Yeah.
Just lift it off. It's massive, eh? Man. It's like as tall as it is wide.
It is actually is, you know, when you all the way down, it's actually like hardly any gap at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, that's actually a good view.
Look at that.
Straight in.
That's big, man.
Alright, Brian has saved the day. These are the tools. What are they called again?
Water pump pliers.
Water pump pliers. I keep calling them water pipe clamps or something stupid. Anyway, we need these guys. Brian's just going to take a couple of the bits off so we don't damage them in the process. We're going to grab the engine cover off. Cover this probably with a towel or something like that. And this just pops off. Just like that. It's pretty ugly underneath, actually.
It's not.
Well, it's functional, let's call it that.
That's what you want to look at is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, the magic number. Alright, so I'm going to put you guys on a tripod and we're going to get cracking on, and I'll keep you filled in as we go. So now with the airbox removed, you can see there's heaps of space here. These are the little poppers that the base of the airbox actually sits onto, but you just kind of use a bit of brute force to pull them out. This is the little breather guy that I was talking about before. Just make sure he's detached from the airbox. We'll use him a bit later. I think that's the DSG breather, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So next step is we just need to take this clamp off at the back.
Let's do this first.
We need to take that out,
loosen that one.
which is the pipe that joins.
If we yank on that, we're going to break that.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
No, so let's leave all that. Let's do that first. Little piece there. See it's bent over?
Yeah.
That's holding it in.
Yeah, right.
So you push it in there and you clamp that down and it just bites.
So you just kind of got to pry it away.
Yeah, so you can get a bit of gap. So you can just push it down.
Hey, there we go. Finally, what a pain. It's off. Thank you.
Son of a
rubbish. So this guy here is an absolute bugger to get off. I'm sure there's an easier way, but for us Mechanics 101, just a bit of brute force did the job. So that one's done.
So hold it with, yeah, so like coming from this side. There you go.
Beauty. The right tools for the right job. So we've taken off the main pipe at the back here. That's off. The airbox is off. The cold air intake bit is off. Brian's cleaned everything up so we can start putting in the integrated engineering intake. Well, I lost battery. Oh no.
You want to change battery?
The chest cam's died.
Charge your battery.
Time to change battery.
Battery's flat.
All right, next step of the process. Here we go. Starting to look pretty juicy now. So we're going to install this, what do you call it? Intake pipe or whatever, cross pipe on the back. Intake. We'll put the silicon coupler on this end first so that we can mount it onto the turbo inlet there. And then we'll finagle it onto that one at the back there. And then we should be getting pretty close. Once we've got that all done, we can tighten up all the clamps and just make sure we've got everything in the right place. All right, back to chest cam. All right, might not have done the best job of filming it all, but we are pretty much there. I'll give you guys a quick look. Brian's just putting the cover back on the fuse box. We are all clamped up and tightened from the turbo all the way to the intake. And one last thing I need to do is just put a little securing screw into here to hold this in place. For those of you playing at home, this little breather, if I can find it, there it is. It actually just clamps back onto part of the, what do you call it? It's not the frame, but so the headlight area with its little clamp. Yeah. So that just sits there, which is pretty neat. And these are all done up. This whole silicon section here is so handy because it has all the pipes integrated into it. So it makes it a real simple operation. One of the things we got in the parts pack was this little piece of like foam that you can stick on somewhere, and I didn't really read in the instructions what you're supposed to do with it, but if you look at, there you go sir, the clearance between the ECU and the actual carbon fiber box, it's really tight. Now you can adjust it a little bit with this screw left to right, but you don't have a lot of adjustments. So we're thinking to save the carbon fiber, and we squeeze that in there just where it's at its closest point, and then we'll tighten it up. So hopefully that's right. Integrated engineering, if you're watching and we've done it wrong, let me know.
Or don't.
Or don't. Now, because I'm such a nice guy and we're job done, I'm going to give the last piece of the puzzle to Brian to fit to say thanks for helping out.
This is for my car.
It's not for your car.
Thanks for helping. You need presents.
Yeah, that's right.
If you ever look at the inside of that,
Well, that's
just pop it down on top of it. It's not gently. You can actually feel it just pop inside.
yeah. That's it. It's one snapped in. I think there's one at the front there. That's got it. And there we go. That's everything installed. So from a plastic engine bay, I should say, to a carbon fiber engine bay. I reckon it's time for some glamour shots. do now though is line up the two cars, Brian's and mine, and I'll show you the difference between the, is it the CTS intake that you've got? Yeah, CTS intake and this one here, and point out a few of the little differences. This is the CTS intake, and if you thought I had a big filter and the integrated engineering one, this one is ridiculous. Put your hand next to it, man. This filter is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know, do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Oh, it's just, it's quite different from yours actually. It's just one pipe all around.
Yeah.
It actually uses the original piping that comes with the car as well.
Yeah.
Clamps, we've got a couple of new clamps that we got with the actual intake itself. The only thing difference is noticeable is this bracket back here. Because this is heavier than the carbon fiber obviously.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
My bracket actually connects up again where yours doesn't. You can have it open or closed as well.
Oh, so it comes with a lid?
Yeah. It's got 2 bolts as well.
And then suddenly you've got an enclosed one, sort of.
Sort of.
You've still got a big hole in the front.
It doesn't have to say it has to be closed in front. The top has to
yeah.
be closed.
But that looks quite neat now with that on.
Yeah.
So it depends what sort of look you're going for, I guess. So special thanks to Brian for dropping in to give us a hand installing that integrated engineering intake. I think the whole engine bay looks amazing now. But in the words of the famous Doug DeMuro, now it's time to see how it drives. Alright, driving the 2017 Audi RS3 with the integrated engineering carbon fiber air intake. Sorry, that actually still sounds like Doug DeMuro. But seriously, we're just getting the car up to operating temperature. No warning lights on the dash, which is always a good sign. No unusual rattles from the engine bay. Everything seems to be buttoned up. Now I've actually rigged up a microphone in the engine bay to see if we can hear something from that, and that will give an indication of what it sounds like outside the car. Alright, so just rolling on in 3rd gear here from 40 kilometers an hour. I'll give it about 60% throttle. We'll see if the microphone in the engine bay picks anything up. Here we go. Yeah, again, a very, very slight induction noise. Nothing crazy. Alright, so we're going to try a full throttle acceleration now. Again, we're in 3rd gear. Let's see if we can hear anything. Okay, yeah, definitely. The higher the load, obviously you can hear more. So that sounds pretty good actually. Let's see if there's any seat of the pants change in terms of performance. So we're in 2nd gear here, just go for a bit of a dig. Yeah, I didn't expect anything, and to be honest it's quite minimal. Maybe a little bit more torquey. Maybe it's a placebo effect. Of course, once you get it tuned and you've already opened up that air passage a bit more, you're going to see more progressive gains in terms of horsepower and torque from the tune. So it's definitely not a waste of money, and of course I do have plans with this car to tune it, do the dump pipe and all that kind of stuff. So there you have it guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been a little bit informative, and if you enjoyed it, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button because we've got a lot more things coming up. I've actually got about 3 projects planned. We've got some Lamborghini paddle shifters to put in place. We've got more carbon fiber going on the outside from Porsche Design and Revo Sport. And what else? Oh, and I do still need to order a dump pipe for that, and then we've got some tuning to do as well. So that's all coming up on the channel. So if you want to see that, click that subscribe button. Also, give it a like if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Ciao.